everybody, and happy crafternoon. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today we're going to have fun because we're going to make a card that is kind of Zen-Doodle inspired. It's going to look kind of like a Zen-Doodled card, but we're going to just do it all with stamps, so there's no drawing or any of that complicated stuff involved. We're going to be using our brand new card kit and the Spring Things stamp and die collection from that card kit. Now that particular stamp set was designed to have a Zen-Doodle feel about it. And by adding some bright colors and a little bit of a white gel pen, we're going to make the card feel like it's Zen-Doodled without all of that work. So we're going to have fun doing that today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy crafternoon.
How are you doing?
I am better than horrible and glad to be here on this rainy day.
Oh, rainy. Boy, I was hoping you'd be out there building an ark.
It is spring.
It is spring.
In Wisconsin.
It is. And this could be all snow, and we would be buried under snow. I saw Kathy Zilski was here. She's up in Minnesota. Kathy, is it snowing in Minneapolis, or do you have at least the warmth as well? Because a lot of times she'll get the snow, and then as it dips down into the Milwaukee area, it turns to rain. So I'm hoping she's doing okay. I hope you're doing okay, Kathy.
It's raining a lot of places all over the country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, hey, you know what? I kind of enjoy rainy days, to be honest with you. The pressure to be outside and enjoying the weather is off, and it makes me feel less guilty about hanging out in my craft room all day. That's a good thing, right, Tom?
It's great. And I sometimes if you just wake up in the middle of the night and you hear the rain, first you think of whether it's inside the house or outside. And if it's outside, then you feel good and go back to sleep.
It's very peaceful, yes. So we'll just enjoy it, because before you know it, the hot weather will be here. We'll have lots of sunshine, and all will be good, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, Tom, do you have a word of the day today?
I have a phrase of the day.
Oh, a phrase of the day. Oh, we're going to need a new song for that.
Well, yeah.
We'll have to just wing it with the old one.
Close enough.
Okay. All right, well, let's take a look at the stamp set we're going to use. Now, this stamp set was totally designed to have a Zen-Doodle feel to it. So we're going to be using this particular stamp set today. And I also really enjoy these big, bold greetings in this stamp set. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, I did a poll. I did a poll in our Facebook group today on whether or not you guys wanted me to use Copic markers for this, or you wanted me to use colored pencils and Gamsol. And overwhelmingly, 2/3 of you said that you wanted me to use, I didn't say Copic, I said alcohol markers. And 2/3 of you said that you wanted me to use alcohol markers. Now, I know that a lot of you just recently picked up colored pencils and Gamsol, and you're really enjoying that. And of course, you can do that with colored pencils and Gamsol, no problem. But I am going to use alcohol markers today. And I wanted to show you a couple different alcohol markers. And then I want to show you something that I treated myself to, because I think that you're going to like it. And I want to explain to you what the big differences are. So I'm going to just grab a little piece of cardstock here. Here is a white piece of cardstock. Now, let me zoom out a little bit, because I want to show you a couple of different types of alcohol markers. Now, the industry standard for so many years for high quality alcohol markers were the Copic markers. And I have the full set of Copic markers. I bought all of them. You don't need to do that. But I did it because I thought I needed them. And I took the classes, and I am a certified Copic marker instructor, which is kind of funny because I really don't know how to color with Copic markers the way the real people know how to color with Copic markers. But back then, all they did was make you take a class, and if you took the class, they gave you the certificate, and then you were a certified Copic marker instructor. So Copic markers are really nice. Now, you can get a bullet tip and you can change out the tip of these sketch markers to have a bullet tip and a brush tip. But the sketch markers come with a brush tip that looks like this, right? And a lot of people like the brush tip end. They're very used to using the brush tip. And they also come with the chisel tip on the other end, which is great for when you're coloring large areas and you just want to do, you know, a big, large coloring. I don't ever use the chisel tip. I know a lot of artists do, but I don't. I don't know how to use it. I don't really need it for much. And most of the stamp designs that we use are pretty small. Now, the brush tip does have a very, very fine little point, so you can do tiny little areas. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So you can do tiny little areas. But I also find that with the brush tip, sometimes I go outside the lines, even when I'm trying to do the smallest areas. So I know Kathy Zilski, I see her using her Copic markers a lot, and I think she bought a ton of the bullet tips. And what she did was she took tweezers, she pulled this chisel tip out, and she replaced them all with the bullet tips, or at least the ones that she uses a lot. And that's really smart because the bullet tip is very tiny, and when you're doing a lot of tiny designs, like, you know, you're trying to get into these tiny little areas, a bullet tip is easier. So yeah, you can replace them, and like Kathy said, you can just replace them and it's easy to do. But these markers are expensive. So if you're just getting into alcohol markers and you are planning on staying more of a crafter like I am, a Copic marker ranges, I don't know what I'm writing there, but a Copic marker ranges anywhere. I've seen them for as low as $6 and as high as $8. So per marker. Now you can get a little bit of a discount if you buy them in sets, but you know, this is what you're gonna pay around. Maybe like if you buy them in a sets, they're like, you know, $4 or $5, but they're still kind of pricey. Now, the new marker that everybody's talking about are these markers, and these are the Olo markers, and a lot of people have Olo markers now because this is kind of the new thing. Copic changed some things, and so a lot of the people that were doing Copic marker classes and stuff like that have switched over to Olo markers. Now, Olo markers are also a very, very good marker, high quality marker. The cool thing about Olo markers is you can design your marker yourself, all right? So this is the way they come, all right? They come, do I have a ring on here somewhere? Trying to see if I have a ring. I thought I did. Maybe I don't have one on this side. They come, yeah, I guess I don't. They come in half sizes, okay? So this is the marker that you get. And then you can pick 2 different markers and you can screw them together to make a marker that works for you. So, for example, I believe I have a ring on here, but I can't really get it off. They come with the rings too, so you can, the connector rings. So if you like greens, maybe you think, okay, I love this color green, this YG 2.3, but I want a lighter one, so I'll get YG 2.1 and I'll make my own Olo marker. And they come with a couple different kinds of tips. They come with a brush tip, and I'm not sure if they come with a bullet tip, but I think they come with a chisel tip. And these are nice markers too. They've got beautiful, bright, vibrant color. You can do the same kind of thing. You can get into very small areas because, again, they've got the very fine point on the end. All right? But once again, when it comes to price, an Olo marker, for a full marker, that means 2 markers, right? Like 2 ends, I believe, are going to cost you somewhere around the $9 mark. Okay? So, you know, if you want 100 markers, right, it's going to be about $900 to get 100 markers. Now, you can buy them in sets, and the sets are cheaper. But if you like to pick just the colors that you want, and I started that way, so now buying sets, I'm going to end up getting duplicates because I just bought a few. And I think I got one with like an SCT class or something. So, you know, then I didn't want to buy a whole set and end up with duplicates, but the colors are beautiful in the Ohuhu markers. Now,
Are they refillable?
yes, I believe they are refillable. I think they're refillable. Somebody let me know if they're refillable. I think I heard that they're refillable. I could probably look that up, but maybe Brienne can check that out for us. And hi, Brienne. Thank you for being here. So this is my full collection of Ohuhu markers. Remember, each marker is actually 2 markers. Now, here's the downside to me with the Ohuhu marker versus the Copic marker if I had to. There's a downside and upside. The upside for a Copic marker is that when you store it and you look at all your lids, these are the colors you have, right? You can see, okay, I have this orange here. And you can do the brush tip and you can do the bullet tip. The downside is one marker is this full price, right? With the Ohuhu markers, I don't know what I have here because I'm only looking at half of my colors, right? All my other colors are actually on the other side. So like here's one, I just had an extra and I needed to screw them together. So I have a mint green here. I wouldn't know that just by looking here. So you can buy barrels that just have a plain barrel and just have one end be the marker. You can also buy 2 of the same, so both sides are the same marker. Okay, thank you. They are refillable. And there's also stands. Stamp & Storage makes a stand where you can take the marker and you put it through the stand, like the stand is here, and then you can spin it and you can see both sides of the marker. So that's kind of cool if you have the Ohuhu markers because they have a tower that you can see both sides, right? So that's kind of cool. But again, this might be cost prohibitive. So I decided that I was going to treat myself because I love to doodle, and I was seeing all the doodle artists use another kind of marker called Ohuhu Markers. So I decided to treat myself to the full big set of Ohuhu Markers. And honestly, I really like them. I really like them a lot. And so if you're just starting out and you want a ton of colors, this is the set that I ordered. It's got 320 markers in here. And guess how much each marker is? Ready? 84 cents. 84 cents a marker. Now that's a lot different than $8 or $9 a marker. And they are really good markers. And this is called the Honolulu set. And so you get a brush tip on one end. So it'll give you that nice brush tip. Okay. And on the other end, it's the same color on both sides, you get a bullet tip. So then you could do some of that small coloring in there. And so if I was just starting out again, and I say this from a perspective of, I know that Copic markers and Ohuhu markers are a better quality. These are better quality. Do I know why? No. I don't, because I'm not that good. I'm just not that good. So for me, if I were starting over and I was thinking I would like to start and learn and practice with an alcohol marker, I would not be opposed to getting these Ohuhu markers right from the start. Now I'm going to put a link in the chat and I'm going to ping it. I'm going to pin it to the top. Let's see here. That is not what I wanted to do. Let me remove that. And remove that comment. I am going to, let me just grab this link here because and I'm not ashamed to say this, I like these markers so much that I got an affiliate program with them. I got an affiliate link with them because I think they're a great marker. And I think Brianne Loveland might be able to link that. Brianne, are you able to link the Ohuhu markers for me? I know that she's got my link. We talked about it. Let's see here. I think she'll be able to do it. So I would love it because I'm spending the time to show these to you. If you decide to get them, if you would use my link, because it would be really helpful. Because I'm not trying to sell, you know, I know a lot of you have the kit and everything, but I do think that, you know, it is really helpful if you guys wouldn't mind. Now, the other thing I want to show you, and this is where, like, I was the most concerned, was I heard that you couldn't get like smooth blending from Ohuhu Markers, but you can. You can get very smooth blending from them. So I think Brianne probably put it in there. Brianne, I don't know if Brianne can pin things or not. I don't think she can. But I'll also put the link. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Brianne. I'm pinning that post in a little bit. Okay, so I want to show you when I color with these Ohuhu markers. That's pretty smooth. I think that that's pretty smooth. Let's let it dry for a minute because that will make a difference. Now also, I wanted to show you, they have a color chart. I just started coloring in my color chart. They give you, when you get this big set, they give you the color chart. You get the whole color chart so you can swatch all of your colors. And that's really helpful because they come all mixed up. You can see here, these are kind of organized by the yellows and the oranges. That's because that's as far as I got in my swatching. They come all mixed up. So you have to kind of find the colors and then you can put them in order as you go. They also give you this, which is really cool. So a lot of you know that I love to doodle in my coloring books that I have shared in the past. They give you this mat that prevents, it's super thin, but it prevents bleeding between pages. So if you're coloring on a nice surface, like a wood surface, they give you this mat and you can put the mat down and then you can go ahead and color. Now this is a fluorescent orange that they have.
Do you know if they're refillable?
They are not refillable. And they do sell the single colors. So, but they're not refillable. But it's 84 cents. I mean, if I was going to refill a Copic marker, I'd have to first pay $8 for the marker, and then I'd have to pay more than $8 or close to $8 for the refill. I will not live long enough to use a refill. I just won't. I mean, I don't color enough to use a refill. So that's their fluorescent orange, and here's Copic's fluorescent orange. I kind of feel like their fluorescent orange is brighter. It's like more fluorescent. Brianne, what are you figuring out? Are you figuring out how to link it? Or are you figuring out how to... I think the problem is that I have... let me see. I'm going to unpin my message. And then go ahead, Brianne, pop the link in again, and then I'll go ahead and pin it right away, if you don't mind doing that. I had one pinned, so it wouldn't let me pin it. I think I can pin yours. We'll see. Maybe. But if not, I'll definitely pop the link into the description here on YouTube. And then it comes with a book that tells you all about the markers and the different series markers, because they do have a marker that has a chisel end and all the different colors that they have. And look at this. If your brush tip gets frayed, you can pull it out and you can put it back in the other way because they are reversible, which is cool. So you'll get like twice as long. Okay, I see Brienne's link here. Let's see if I can pin it. Yes, Brienne, we did it. Thank you. Okay.
How many in your set?
320. And the link that I sent you, they're actually $20 off at that link. So you can save $20 if you're interested in the full set. But, you know, once you go to that link, there are other sets that you can look at that are smaller if you want to start smaller for sure. But I just went for the whole thing because, honestly, what I would have paid for, you know, like at $9 a marker, Tom, do the math. I think it was like $269 for the full set. How many Copic markers would I have gotten for that? For $269 at $9 or $8 a marker. So, and I'm not saying you need to buy any markers. If you have markers, you have what you have, and it's good. But I'm just saying, if you're in the market, I did not think I would like these markers as much, and I told you guys I was going to get them, and I told you guys I was going to try them. So I definitely wanted to share that with you today. It says they're refillable, Peggy. See, I'm learning a lot. I just got them, so I've been, you know, I'm learning a lot about them. So that's very exciting. Oh, God. But for 84 cents, I think I might just buy a new marker. Yes, Brienne, Susan, it is a Walmart link. That's where I have my, that's where they have their affiliate program through Walmart. It's not Walmart, it's Walmart Marketplace, so it's just like Amazon. They're actually coming from Ohuhu. The regular price is $2.89, and right now at that link you should be able to get them for $2.69. So that is they're already priced at the discount because they're normally $2.89. Okay, you would have only gotten 72 Copics in a set. Really? Okay, so 72 versus 320. That's pretty good. All right, but again, no pressure. I just wanted to share all of that so that you would have that information, and I'm going to use them today. Okay, so
Is that $9? You like $2.69 divided by what?
By $8 or $9. Do $8 because I think a lot of the places sell Copics for $8.
Well, 9 was 29.
29 markers?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is 320 markers. Yeah, they have all kinds of sets. So just check out that link if you don't mind and see what they have to offer over there. Yes, it's Walmart Marketplace. I don't know. I like it sometimes better than Amazon Marketplace. And it's just as fast, if not faster. So Walmart's giving Amazon a run for their money. All right, so I am going to put this on the sticky mat. I cut out 2 panels here using Master Layouts 2. And I want to create a little bit of a border going around the outside. All right, so I am going to use some Masking Magic strips, and I'm going to use the 1/4-inch Masking Magic strips. I have some of the original 1/4-inch Masking Magic strips here. It's so funny because I was so confused this morning. Originally, when they sent me the prototypes, they had them on the blue, and I think now they're on the red backing. So I must have some of the very, very first ones still here in my craft room. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the border here for this card. Let's get to the card. I just had to show you. I promised that I would in the group. I had mentioned that, well, I think when I was doing my Zen-Doodle with the stencils, I had mentioned that I was going to show you guys those when I finally got them, that I was looking at them. And I just decided to take the plunge. So, yeah, they do have smaller sets. But I just decided to go for the big one because I know me. I'm one of those people that definitely, I do tend to be, like, I'm disappointed that I didn't go for more Ohuhu markers because now there's no set that works for me. You know what I mean? But if you get a set, then that should be okay if you get a set, because they probably have them in sets that make sense. I bought singles at first. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of sea glass ink here, and I'm going to use my beautiful black ink stand by Brianne Loveland. Mary, I make decisions like that at 2 a.m. too, and I think that's actually when I bought them. It was like the middle of the night. I was just perusing all my doodle artists that I follow, and I was like, oh, they just look so good, and they have the bullet end. I was thinking about converting all my Copics over and what the cost would be to buy all those bullet tips, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And so 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I hit add to cart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of soft ink blending just around the perimeter of this, because I want that white border to show. I'm not going all the way in. I'm just adding this around the perimeter. I know, we have fun, right? We have fun. We can make do with what we have. We can use colored pencils. We can use the markers that we already have. I certainly have enough alcohol markers. I didn't need to buy those. And you don't either, but but if you want to, I thought I would show them to you. You know, they are fun. Now, I know probably a lot of my very, very good artist friends out there would be like, oh, Gina, I can't believe that you're using Ohuhu markers. But, you know, that's okay, because they're artists and they know how to use them much better than I do. My Spectrum Noir tri-blends, I love. They are in my to-go bag, and I take them with me everywhere. One of the problems with the Spectrum Noir tri-blends is they don't make them anymore. We haven't seen them anywhere. I've seen a couple sets, but I think they are phasing those out. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, because I do like them. I love them. And yes, I still use them. They are in my to-go bag, and I actually use them at home a lot. They're very easy because I sit on the couch and I only need a handful of markers because they have the 3 different colors. But, you know, we're crafters, right? We like a little bit of everything. Okay, so I'm going to use the dragonfly for this.
Do you store markers lying flat or straight up and down?
I store them straight up and down. That's not a problem. Oh, and you get the case, too. If you get the big set, they send you the whole case, too, which is nice. So I'm going to start with this in the middle, and I'm going to stamp this. Now, did you see I just put my whole sticky mat, right inside my Misty, and I put it right on top of my grip mat. And it's because I don't want to take this off yet, because I don't want to stamp into that white border. So I just popped it right on there, and the whole thing is going to stick. And I'm going to start with this one right in the center, and I'm going to stamp it with black ink, because we want this to look very doodly. So we want these to be big, black, very black images, because that's part of the Zen-Doodle thing, is that those thick black lines, right? Okay, I'm going to give it an extra stamping, and the reason why I stamped it on the Misty is because I really want it to be very black and dark, and I kind of got the feeling that I'd need to stamp it more than once. So I did wash all my tidy towels today before I came on live. Nothing feels better than that. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to move it, and welcome everybody. Okay, so now I'm going to put this one, I just want to make sure it's not wet, and I'm going to pop this one right here. So it's going to stamp off the paper, but because I kept my sticky mat here and I kept everything taped down with the Masking Magic, it's not going to stamp into the border. And that's going to make that border show up even better. Yeah, I do some of my best shopping when I'm asleep too. Something came the other day. It was just something small, but I had no idea it was coming. It was like a little kitchen gadget. It was like a little $5 thing. And Tom was like, you got a package. And I'm like, I'm not expecting anything. And I opened it up and it was that little gadget. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember watching that video. I think I was watching it on TikTok and I fell asleep. I guess I must have hit the buy it now button. Okay. So now I'm going to put this one here like this.
Connie wants to know what are the layers inside the Misty?
The layers?
Like what you have underneath the...
I have just the Gina K Designs double background grip mat, and then I have the sticky mat on top of it. And it's not too thick for the Misty. It works just fine. So I'm using both of our mats, the sticky mat and the grip mat. I'm giving this a little bit of double stamping here. I think, people should craft with what they can afford. And, if an alcohol marker, and they're great. I mean, if an alcohol marker, you need a starter marker to even decide if you like it. Like, what if you tried the Ohuhu markers and then you're like, I really like this. I want to learn how to be a better marker person. I want to learn, and I'm going to start taking classes and stuff. You can always upgrade to a better quality marker.
Question.
But for me, I'm not, I took that class probably, I don't know, like 15 years ago. And it just never was enough for me. Like, that kind of stamping, that kind of card making has never drawn me in as much as coloring stencils and colored pencils with Gamsol. So these are fine for me. Go ahead. Sorry, Tom.
Question, do you wash your tidy towels in the washing machine or by hand, and can they be washed with Downy sprinkles?
So I wouldn't necessarily use like a fabric softener kind of thing on them. I do wash them in the washing machine sometimes. Today before work, I just washed them at the sink with some water. So I'm going to put that right there like that. So I'm just bringing these dragonflies in. Maybe I'll... Ooh, that got a little wet. Let's dry that real quick, just to make sure that's going to dry okay. I've got my heat tool here, and let me plug it in. Oh, there's no room over here. This is the tightest spot. Let me move my thing. I'm going to just dry this so that it doesn't create a problem. I don't want the ink to smear, so it's easier if I just dry it real quick with my heat tool. I don't care if it leaves a mark. I just don't want it to be wet. That was my bad. My tidy towel might be a little too wet. Okay, that's good. Good enough. Okay. Just put that right there, like that.
Time for an embellishment?
Yeah, we could definitely put an embellishment there. Maybe I'll just bring it in this way. Yeah, I definitely can put embellishments there. I'm just trying to find the right position that I want it to be in. I'll just do that. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Okay. We'll stamp it. good enough. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some hand stamping with an acrylic block. I know that's scary, but I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to fill in now with some of these little flowers. So I think I'll use this one. This is a nice size here. So I'll use this one right here, and I'm going to fill this in. Boy, I could really use a smaller block, but I don't know where my tiny block went. It's in this drawer somewhere. I'll use a very old Gina K block because somehow my regular block, the one that I like, the comfort block that I'm not afraid to drop, but I'll use this one. This is an old Gina K block. Okay, so I'm gonna, watch me drop it. These are not comfortable to hold as much. Okay, I'm gonna stamp this here. And I'm gonna hold it there for a second because I want my ink to transfer the best that it can. I can't use this block. It's not as comfortable. I'm going to use this and take a chance. See, the little ridges in these blocks make me feel more secure about holding on to it. But I have a tiny one that I don't know where it went. So I'm just holding it there for a second, making sure I get a good transfer. And I'm filling these in and going over the edge. You definitely want to go over the edge a little bit in certain places. Let's do one down here. And then I'm going to pick a smaller one. I have a smaller stamp here, this one, to fit into some of these areas that are just a little bit too tiny for that stamp.
Question, can you use alcohol markers with your black ink?
Yes. Yeah, it works great with our black Onyx ink and our amalgam, but the amalgam ink you do have to heat set a little bit first.
And a question from Connie, does Gina ever use the foam insert that came with the Misty? Does the grippy mat replace it?
Yes, the grippy mat replaces the foam insert. So no, I don't use it anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. And I'm just filling these all in so this has more of a wild doodle-like feel to it. Okay, now I know there's still a couple little blank spots in there, but I'm going to fill those with embellishments later. So let me put these stamps back, and now we're going to do some coloring. So if you're worried, just drop to my stamp. Here it is. If you're worried about the ink bleeding at all with whatever ink you're using or whatever markers you're going to be using, you can always just heat set it a little bit with your heat tool, and that should help. But I think we're going to be okay here. Now I'm going to take all of these strips off. And actually, if I can pull the whole thing up, I will. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the whole thing up because I don't want this ink to get in the way of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to clean my sticky mat and get it off of my grippy mat and put it away because we're going to come back and stamp our greeting on here. Now let's go ahead and take the rest of these off.
And can you use alcohol markers directly on the stamp?
No. They dry almost instantly. I do, okay, and that being said, many, many years ago, I made a video. I don't know if it was on YouTube because I didn't start making videos on YouTube. I started making videos on Vimeo, so it may have been one of my Vimeo videos from a very, very long time ago. But I made a video of using Copic markers on your stamp directly. And the way I did it was I stamped, I inked up the marker onto the stamp, and then I spritzed it with alcohol. And you can do that. You can spritz it with rubbing alcohol. And you have like a couple seconds to stamp it. But the one thing that I found is it stained my stamps terribly. And if that doesn't bother you, because stamps do stain, so if that doesn't bother you, yeah, go for it. But if that bothers you, then definitely I wouldn't do it. Okay, so should I try some Ohuhu markers here? There's so many colors to pick from, I'm almost a little overwhelmed. Okay, so I want to do a bright pink, and I always like to have like a little piece of cardstock close by that I can check the colors to see what color would look good. So let's take a look at this bright fuchsia. Well, that's pretty. I like that color. And let's take a look at this one. This is called fuchsia. So not bright fuchsia. This is fuchsia. I like that one better. Feels brighter to me. And then let's just look at this one here. This is called, if this has fuchsia in it, hot pink. Okay, so hot pink. Oh, that's nice too. That kind of looks like our, maybe a little bit like our passionate pink, right? I think so. Here's our passionate pink. That feels very similar to our passionate pink. Oh no, this is petunia. Maybe this is more like...
So what do you use for thumping techniques?
This looks more like our passionate pink. For thumping techniques, I use all water-based markers for thumping, because water-based markers you can reactivate even just by huffing on them. All right, so let's go with the hot pink. I think I like that one the best. Do you like that one the best? Or this one? Let's go with this one. This was the fuchsia. This is the one that looks a little bit more like our... Yeah, let's go with this one. All right, so I'm going to just start up here and just color this. And I'm using the brush tip end. I'm just coloring the whole thing. Now I could use the bullet side as well if I wanted to. See, I feel like that's a super smooth blend. I don't see any streakiness. I always get streakiness with water-based markers. And we'll do this one here. And then I need to find a darker marker that's going to coordinate with this one. Okay, so I'm going to color all these parts. This is actually very smooth feeling marker. I like it. The other thing is, just like the Gina K ink, as it dries up to the true color. Now the caps aren't perfect, but I find that the caps aren't perfect with a lot of colors. That's why I love the idea of having a swatch card for, you know, any of the different things that you're going to do. Just having the ability to swatch things out and see what they look like. Now down here, because I don't have, see, I have no black here to protect myself. I'm just going to be real careful. I'm not going all the way up to the end. I'm just going to dab a little bit of color on there and try not to go too far over that line. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with all of these. But I don't see our ink running at all. I'm not getting any of that. No bleed.
Looks fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's very fun and bright. And doesn't this feel very Zen-Doodle-y, even though we're not really doodling? You haven't had to draw anything. It just has that bright, fun feel to it.
Is Gina using 80 pound, wondering about the bleed?
Yep, it's going to bleed through. I'm using the 80 pounds, so it's definitely going to bleed through. Which is fine, because this is, you know, it's going on a black layer for sure. And here I'm actually coloring a little bit more over the that sea glass.
And did you use black onyx or obsidian to
I
stamp
used a
it?
black onyx dye ink. When I use alcohol markers, I always go for our black onyx dye ink unless I'm adding watercolor in with it. Because I just find that the black onyx dries instantly and I never get any bleeding. With the amalgam ink, you usually have to heat set it. So for me, you know, I don't have a lot of patience and I want to get going right away. So I just use the black onyx. But if you have the amalgam, and it's a great ink. Sherry Gilson, who is one of the designers that does a lot of work for us, she always uses amalgam black for just about everything. She always recommends it in the group. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of luck with that. They just take a minute, they heat set it, it's not a big deal. All right, that is a good marker, but I want to go a little bit darker, so I'm going to try to find one that's a little bit darker. This one is called Pomegranate, and I am not really going by the numbers, you know, like some people go by the numbers. I'm going to see what that looks like. That looks a little too red to me. So maybe I will try to find, and part of my problem is I don't have them organized in color order either. That's really dark. So let's find one more. We'll pick one more here. I think that'll be a good one. Okay, so this one is called Rich Raspberry. Rich Raspberry. And I'm going to do kind of the doodle way that people use alcohol markers when they're doodling. So what I'm going to do here is all I'm going to do is just go right up, and you can use the bullet side for this too if you want, if you feel like you have more control. And I'm just going to draw a darker line right along the side there. Can you see that? Just drawing that darker line right along the side. And I'm going to do that here too. Can you see that? It just creates that light and dark. You don't have to be an artist to do that. You're just drawing a line. Now I'm using the bullet side because I have a bullet side. If you don't have a bullet side, just use the point of your Copic or your Ohuhu marker or whatever you have. You could do this with colored pencils too. Just use a darker colored pencil right along the side. And that's all we're doing is creating the light and the dark. And for this one, it's not even like light and dark, really. It's like almost just two different shades there that we're blending together. But that just gives you so much dimension. It just takes it up to the next level. See that? So pretty. So I'll list the colors that I used here. I'm going to keep them separate so I can list them in the description. Okay, so now I want to do like a bright green. So let me find, ooh, maybe this. This is called Jade. That's kind of bright. Maybe I want to go even brighter than that. Let's look at this one. This is called Grass Green. Yeah, let's use that. Okay, so I'm going to add some grass green into these areas here. And this is kind of what the doodlers do, right? They just add bright colors into their doodles, and that's what really just makes it all just jump out. Okay, we're just going to do this top one, this one, and this one. being careful on my sides here. And right here. When you just have the half ones, it's kind of hard to tell, like, is that an open line or is that part of the butterfly design? And remember, just because you're not actually doodling here, this is still a very mindful activity. And when I say mindful, I just mean that relaxing kind of no need to rush the process kind of thing. Now I want to use a turquoise color. I'm not going to add anything else to that one, but I want to add a bright turquoise color. So this is a good one. This is BG311. It's called turquoise. And I'm going to do that down here because you know that I have to have turquoise in every card that I make, pretty much. Isn't this bright and fun? And what I also like about this doodle style is it does make use of some of the lighter, brighter colors in your collection. This one I missed out on his body there. I'm gonna do this right here because this is supposed to be turquoise as well, or fuchsia, not turquoise, fuchsia. And I use the bullet tip there. I was trying to find where the turquoise went and I didn't see the fuchsia. My eye was searching for something that I missed. And I think that's almost all of it for this. Now I want to find a darker color to add that low light again. See? And this is where you find things. Oh, and if you ever get any alcohol ink on your marker, just wipe it with a little bit of alcohol and that'll go away. So I'm putting this in here. And then I am going to add a little bit of that low light on this one. I missed it. So we'll let that dry. Okay, so these are the colors I've used so far. Didn't use this one. Now I'm going to go with a darker blue. And it doesn't even have to be a turquoise. It could just be a blue. Let's see what we have for blues. Oh, this one might work. This is a turquoise. That's dark. But let's try it. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go just down the side here. And this will dry up a little bit so it won't look quite so dark. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer is here, and I have to tell you that Jennifer is going live right after me, and she is using the card kit. This same card kit that I'm using, she's going to be using. She's going to do something completely different. I think, Jennifer, tell me if I'm wrong. You're going to do eclipse cards? Is that what you're going to do today? That's going to be awesome. I'll be in the chat. All right, so now I've added some of that darker turquoise. Now let's do one more pop of color, and let's make it a bright orange. So let's go with that fluorescent orange to really add some brightness here, and we'll fill in this with that fluorescent orange. See, we need that little pop of color in there. And we can do these too. I love this bright fluorescent pop of color. I think I'm going to do it down here for a couple of these too. Isn't that fun? It just glows. See where I have to put it. Right here. Yeah, eclipse cards are super fun. And Jennifer will delight us today, I'm sure, as she always does.
Susan wants to know, why is it okay to spray your stamps with alcohol in order to use alcohol markers? I was told alcohol dries out your stamps.
So when I did that video, I did it using rubber stamps, not using photopolymer stamps. I don't recommend doing the alcohol markers directly onto your photopolymer stamps. I just don't. It could damage them, and I don't think that that's a great idea. So I was just referring to the fact that I had done a video a very long time ago on the subject, but I don't recommend it.
I know on rubber it's fine.
On rubber it's fine, yeah. It's kind of hard to kill rubber. Yeah, rubber is very, very tough, but photopolymer, I wouldn't do it. All right, I'm going to use this very light turquoise here, just in these areas. It's a little bit lighter of a turquoise, which I think makes it pop just a little bit more. And I only had a couple areas to do it. So I will definitely list all of these colors that I used today. But there they are. If you can pause the screen and see them too.
Do you go by color names or numbers?
I go by, I go by cap color. So if it's a color that looks fun to me, then I want to use it. I am going to fill the body in with this orange too. I don't feel like there's enough orange. But for the purpose of knowing what colors blend together, you are supposed to pick like a BG with a BG or an RV with an RV. So that's what those color names are really good for. So let's fill in his whole body here with this bright orange, just to really bring more of that color in. I love the bright. And that's what makes it feel more like a Zen-Doodle to me, when I see the bright color. But it's good to be able to see that I didn't heat set this ink and I'm not getting any bleed, even with these really bright fluorescent kinds of colors. It's always good to be able to see that in person. Plus, it's good to see it with these Ohuhu markers because, you know, you just don't know if you have Copics or you have Olos, maybe it works fine, but then it doesn't work with this brand because it's a less expensive brand, but it does, so it's good to know. And then I forgot to do the rest of his body there, so I'm just going to color it in and pretend it's there. All right, now let's do something on the insides of these little flowers. Let's add a little more turquoise in there. Do we want to go with that light turquoise? Let's go with that light one, and this is called Seafoam Green. So let's just color the insides of these for a little pop of extra color. And I'm using the bullet tip. That's fun. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get a gel pen. But before I do that, I think I'm going to cut out my backing panel, and I'm going to cut out my word so we have that ready to go, because I don't want the gel pen. Am I going to do the flowers? Oh, is that an old? I think that was an older post. Yeah, and you could do those in brighter colors. You could mix it up and do one in pink, one in orange, one in turquoise. But isn't it fun, just the bright colors? And doesn't it feel just like Zen doodling, even though we haven't really doodled at all? Now, you could go in, if you're a doodler, you could go in with one of your Micron or Statler pens, and you could go in and draw lines, and you could draw swirls, and you could draw dots and things in there to make it more doodly if you wanted to. But for those of you who watched that video and you were like, that's fun, but I'm never going to do it, this is a great fun way to get a beautiful bright colored Zen doodly feeling card without having to draw anything. So I think that that's super fun. Okay, So now let's get a piece of black cardstock and let's cut out Master Layouts 2. I'm going to trim this down real quick with my paper cutter.
Few requests for the word of the day.
Let's do the word of the day while I cut this out. That's a great idea.
All right.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Let's laugh it up. Don't delay. Word of the day, it's here to stay.
Okay. So today's word of the day has to do with mirrors. Mirrors, we use those every day to look at ourselves, right?
Yes,
Primarily.
primarily.
So I'm in my car and I'm feeling a little insulted because I'm looking and I'm seeing myself in the rear view mirror. It's a mirror that you see a rear end in. Anybody else insulted by that? Rear view mirror. I was. Back
Way back.
to the dead space.
All right, so now we're going to pick a greeting here. I think I'm going to... boy, we could have done this horizontally too, and we can make this like a big birthday card. Let's do that. Let's turn it on the horizontal and make it a big birthday card. I always need birthday cards. So we're going to do this big birthday. Let's get that in position. Somebody's car is going off out there in the parking lot. I hope it's not mine. Wouldn't that be terrible if we were on for like an hour and then we found out that it was my car just going and going and going? They all kind of sound the same. Okay. In, and we'll go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll assemble the card. Now I'm going to add that gel pen. I want to show you how I do that to really make it feel doodled. And this is such an easy technique. If you guys don't have a gel pen, I suggest the Uniball Signo gel pen. It's a great gel pen. It's super easy to use. And I feel like it always works for me. Like I never have problems with it working. But the other thing too is sometimes people have trouble with gel pens, and the reason that they have trouble with it is because they push too hard. You know, if it's not coming out, they start pushing and pushing. And you have to remember that a gel pen actually has a little roller ball in it. And if you press too hard, you prevent the ball from rolling. So sometimes just getting a piece of rougher cardstock, not a super smooth cardstock, but a little bit of a rougher cardstock, and starting the ball just with a light touch, then, you know, then it'll be easier for you to get it going. So I also want to show you something else about this die that I love. See how Brian only connected it at that tiny little spot right at the top? That is just a scissor snip away from becoming two separate dies. And this way, if it's too long to go this way across your card, you could snip that and you could stack them. So that's something I love about these dies and the way they're designed. He did it with the Thinking of You too. See how I just did tiny little spots where they're connected, so you get the full border around all of the words. Same with the thank you. So just a little snip, and then you can stack them instead. And that's something maybe you didn't notice when you got your set or when you were, you know, looking at it online. But that's just a little perk that he did for us that makes it easy to use both vertically and horizontally. All right, now we're going to adhere these two panels together, and we're going to add our gel pen. Now, normally this wouldn't take quite as long. I know I did a lot of talking in the beginning. Look how pretty the back looks. Looks very watercolory, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Melanie Menchinger years ago did a really neat video using alcohol markers where she stamped her flower set, a flower set that she had designed, and then she colored it, the whole thing in really pretty with alcohol markers, and then she flipped it around and used that side, and it looked like a watercolor design. It was really brilliant. All right, so we're going to do this on this side, and we're going to pop that right there. So we're going to do a horizontal version. And I feel like maybe a turquoise color would be, do I have a turquoise? Maybe I don't. Well, I have to have turquoise cardstock somewhere over here. Let's see, here's a piece of something, sea glass. What do you guys think? Here's like a turquoise sea card base. That would be very pretty. And let's look at a green, because I feel like, ooh, let's look at this. This is key lime. There's no key lime in this card, but isn't that fun? Doesn't that feel fun? Oh, should we make it really bright and vibrant with some key lime? Oh, do I do a poll? Let's look at one more color before I do a poll. Let's look at Passionate Pink. I feel like there's so much pink in this card. That's pretty too, but there's so much pink already. We've got so much pink in the butterflies. Key lime and turquoise sea. All right, I'm gonna do a quick poll because it's just fun to do. So let's start a poll. Card base color. And we'll do turquoise sea, key lime, or passionate pink. Here we go. Let's see what comes up. Now I gotta look on my phone because for some reason I can't see the poll on my laptop. I don't know, YouTube struggles sometimes lately. Oh, maybe it's because...
Turquoise sea.
Turquoise sea? Oh, you see it, Tom? Turquoise sea's the winner?
Last one I saw it was, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see it here. Let's see. Turquoise sea, 47%. Key lime, 42%. Really? That's so close. And it feels so bright and fun. Somebody wants to see orange. I don't have a fluorescent orange, though. I don't have a fluorescent orange, and I think that would clash because I don't have fluorescent. Oh, turquoise sea just dashed ahead at 48%. Okay, turquoise sea it is. Turquoise sea. Hey, but my key lime friends, I'm right there with you. I love the key lime. I thought that was fun too. All right, we'll go with turquoise sea. Because one time I vetoed the poll because I really wanted to, and then somebody commented, if you're gonna do, why do a poll if you're not gonna stick to it? And I thought, you know what? Person's right. The people have spoken. We have to honor the vote. The people have spoken. Okay. So turquoise sea. I might make another one in key lime later, just for me.
Something tells me it's not the last time you overruled the poll.
No, it's true. It's so true. Okay, now before I put this on, I want to add some gel pens. So I always take a piece of cardstock and just start the ball rolling. literally, because there's a ball at the end here. And if you're having trouble, you could try like drawing on your skin a little bit. Sometimes that'll work. You can always just run it under hot water to melt anything that might have dried in there. But then definitely get it started. And remember, if you start pressing tight on it, hard on it, it's not going to roll. So we've got to make sure that the ball is rolling. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add, see, my ball stopped rolling. There we go. I'm going to add some dots just going down the side here to bring in that full Zen-Doodle feel. Where's my remote? I'm going to bring this in a little bit. It does look good with the turquoise. I'm glad we went with the turquoise. Glad we went with the turquoise. But key lime did look good too. Now my friend Kathy Sanders, she made that beautiful card for our release party of our incentive set. She actually doesn't use a gel pen for all the white stuff that she did on her card. She actually dipped a little ball stylus tool into white paint. And I thought that was pretty genius too, because it's kind of like, do you ever see the people who do the dotting on like rocks and stuff? It's so cool. And that's what she uses, and her dots were perfect. So my bracelet's scratching on the... I have to wear it though. I'm not going to put any over here because I feel like I'm not going to get it in the right spot. I could try, but I don't want to mess it up. And the other thing that will help you, which I'm not doing right now, which I should have, is like start at the top and work your way down because you'll definitely, it'll be easier for you. You won't have to worry about your own hand slamming into it and ruining it. And you don't have to fill it up, like it doesn't have to be 4 on every one if only half of it is showing. Just do what you can fit in there. Just try to keep them spaced a little bit, but you see how easy this is? Doesn't that just give you that Zen feel? I like doing different things like this. Different ways of creating art. Feels good sometimes. Just trying something new that maybe you haven't done before. So that really makes a difference to me. Now I'm going to use some embellishments on here because I want there to be more black on this card. There's not enough black. So I'm going to use these black iridescent dots. These are like the perfect embellishments for this. They can be a little staticky, especially if you're in a climate that has a lot of static. So I just sprinkle some around, and I'm going to put different ones in different spots. Like I'm going to put a big one here and a big one up here because I feel like they're a little bit empty. And I'm just putting some dots. I'm going to first do some big ones. So let's do that, and I'm going to use my pick and stick tool. So we can do like one of these super big ones. These are heavy. Why are they so heavy? Let's do this one. That'll work. I think I might have to use a tweezer to pick up the really biggest ones. Maybe. Maybe I'll use my tweezers here. Put a big one. Put a big one here. That's just heavy. These smaller ones aren't quite as heavy. Maybe I've got something on the end of my tool. Let me see if my other tool is cleaner. There we go. This one's a little cleaner. I'll get off whatever's on there.
You might end up covering something up with the greeting.
I think I probably will, but that's okay. All right, now let's do some smaller ones in there. We'll do a tiny one up here. I'm doing just a couple at a time so I can still see them, the spots. It's a smaller one. We can do one like that up there. I'll do a really little one there and a little one there. It's fun to do the really tiny ones too, to mix those in. I know I should put something here to cover up my ish, but you know what? It's, if somebody turns down this card because it has ish, I'll just take it back with me then. Okay, and I am using the Connect matte glue. I'll put babies there. I love these little ones. They're so fun. There's really tiny ones too. Let's do one there. I know I am going to cover some stuff up, Tom. You're right. But I like to look at it a little bit, like as I go through, to see, well, does it need something there? Or definitely have to clean off my...
Cynthia wants to know, did you blend some blue on the corners? If so, what is the color name?
I started out with a little bit of sea glass around the border, and I did that because I wanted to have that white border. So I did Masking Magic strips and sea glass. And if you go back, you can like go back and watch the beginning of the video, because that was like the first thing that I did. Something a little tinier there. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. This looks cool, but like when you turn it, it gives you the shine then. You get that shininess from it. And that's so fun. Okay, now I'm going to add that greeting. Just pop it up with a few little foam squares. And this card is good to go. I have a different one to show you that I made earlier that I shared at the release party. And that one is, look at me, I'm covered with everything. That one is, was made not quite so colorful. It's colorful, but it's not quite as colorful. And you can get kind of a different feel from that one. These strips are a nice size too. You don't have to cut your foam squares down at all for them. And yeah, so after this video, so we'll probably get done in another 5 minutes or so. We're going to do a giveaway too, so hang in there for that. I think Jennifer is going live on her channel at 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And she's going to be using this kit too, so you'll see even more things that you can do with it. Yep, you were right, Tom. I'm covering up some embellishments here. But that's okay. I could have put the greeting down first. Probably should have. Oh, I forgot to take the foam square thing off the back of this one. There we go. Okay. Let me back out a little bit because I feel like I'm awfully close. But here is this finished card with all that nice shine of those black dots. That just made it look more graphic too. And then here's the one I made from release party night. I used a brighter green on this one, and I didn't even color in these parts, which I could have. So there's two different versions of that card, colored a little bit differently. You could also add some shine lines onto some of these. I'll show you that real quick. Real quick. Let me just clean off my gel pen and get it rolling again. So you could add some shine lines just with a little curved line there. Little curved line there. See how that just makes a difference? So that's fun too. So don't be afraid to do dots and curves and just see what happens. Just play with it and have fun. And that definitely feels very similar to that Zen-Doodle card that I made and the Zen-Doodle coloring books that we all have, without having to get that black pen out and do any of the details yourself. So for those of you that wanted to play along but didn't feel comfortable, pick up this set. You can also do it with the butterfly. So you could do the same kinds of images, same kinds of coloring with the butterfly and add dots and shine lines all in there. And with the butterflies, you can add even more colors because it's got so many segments in there. So, all right. Well, this was so much fun today. I had a great time. This is always so relaxing to me. And this one I colored with Ohuhu Markers. I use the Ohuhu Markers, some of these that I have in here, the greens and I did that with Ohuhus. With this one, I did with the Ohuhu Markers. I can't tell the difference as far as the cleanness of the coloring. It's not streaky. The colors are just as bright and vibrant, in my opinion. So, you know, something to think about if you're in the market for a new set of markers. Okay, so we are going to give away a gift card, but before we do, if you liked today's video, and I certainly hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving us a thumbs up, and also don't forget, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video. And then if you're not part of our Facebook group, come on over and join us. It's a fun group called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can find us over on Facebook, and we've got a little over 50,000 members over there, and everybody's sharing their Gina K Designs projects. So if you're looking for inspiration for your kit or your new stamp sets, you will see inspiration funneling through that group all the time. And then Brianne, thank you so much for running all over the internet and helping us out today. I always appreciate you so much. You're amazing. Tom, are you giving her a round of applause? Okay. But if you missed any of Brianne's links, you can find everything that I used here in today's video on our website at ginakdesigns.com. I'll also link my link to the Ohuhu Markers, where you can get that set of 320 or any of the Ohuhu Markers into the description a little bit later. All right, everybody. Well, we've got a $15 gift card to Gina K Designs. They never expire. You can use them anytime that you want, and Tom is going to pick that winner.
Drum roll. Today's winner is Ginger Walker. Ginger Walker.
Yay, Ginger! Congratulations, Ginger. You are our winner. All you have to do is send your name and an email address that you want your gift card sent to. Send that over to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that right out to you. All right, everybody. Well, don't forget, Jennifer McGuire is going live at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, featuring our brand new Spring Things card kit. She's going to be doing some cool cards over there. I'll be in the chat. I hope you will too. And then Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. So we hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.